How should the internet be used on a regular basis? It's a good question. When they first came out with cars, the public was against it, and the reason why was because in those days the streets were mainly used for people walking. People were walking in the streets. So when they came out with cars, people were not used to it. So they said, what do you have? These machines, these big steel machines are going to kill people. This is dangerous. Have different roads for these machines. It's not here. Eventually they made it illegal for people to walk in the streets because they needed to make room for the cars. And they made a rule called Jaywalking, which was in essence an insult on people that were walking in the middle of the street. But nonetheless, they knew that there is a benefit to these cars. There is a benefit in having them. And of course, people today cannot manage their life without having a car. Either one that they own or lease or borrow or rent or whatever it is. Public transportation is something that people rely on a day-to-day basis.
Our metro is faster than the subway. I mean, our buses are faster than the subway.
Sometimes, yes. Now, the key is to understand is that everything you have can be used for good or bad. When cars first came out, they killed a few people. They killed a few people that didn't want to move to the sidewalk. They killed a few people. Today, they kill a lot more than a few people.
Really?
Tens of thousands of people. Does that mean that cars are bad? No. It means that if you use them inappropriately, they'll be bad. If you use them appropriately, it's supposed to be good. Same thing with the internet. The internet is no different than electricity in today's world. It's no different than anything else. It's a utility that you need in order to function in the world today. If you're in business, you cannot function in business without internet. You cannot function, even if you're in the business of horses. If you want to get customers, you need the internet. If you want to have banking, you need the internet. If you want to have employees, payroll, you need the internet. Meaning the internet is needed for this particular business or any other business. Whether it's for shiurei Torah, to publicize to the world, or it's to publicize things that are against Hashem. So that means that it's not a matter of whether internet should be or should not be used. Anyone that says that is silly. It's a ridiculous thing. It's like saying, should you or should you not use electricity? Should you or should you not use water? You need them to survive in the world. If electricity would be shut off for a single day, you would have an economic collapse that may last for 1.5 to 2 years. To fix one day of no electricity in the world may take 1.5 to fix. Why? Because the world relies on electricity. Internet is not very, much less. So it's not a matter of whether you should or shouldn't use it. It's a matter of what do I know for sure I need to do on the internet, and what do I know for sure that I need to avoid. Because that's really what it comes down to. Which roads I forbid myself completely. I'm not allowed to go there because I know I'll get in trouble. And which roads I'm allowed to go on. And which roads have as an exception that only when I need to I go there. And that's in essence what you do. So for example, when you talk about social media. Social media is responsible for hurting more homes than probably any other tool out there. But at the same token, social media has helped people do tshuva as well. Social media has helped a lot of people do tshuva because a lot of people were looking for bad things on the internet. But at the same time, HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent the Torah into the social media world, and many rabbis became much, much bigger and much more popular due to the internet than they would have ever gotten if it wasn't for the internet. And the reality is that they've helped a lot more people change their lives for the better due to the internet. Now, of course, that person was doing bad things on the internet and may continue doing bad things for the internet. But it wasn't because of the rabbi, it was because of himself. Meaning that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, zeh keneged zeh bara Elokim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu created bad, created good. You could use internet for good, you could use internet for bad. You go to social media. If you're going to go to social media, there's only 2 things you should really do. Aside from, obviously, do business. If you do business on the internet, then that's obviously, we already spoke about. If you're going to use social media, it's either to learn Torah or to publicize Torah. That's it. Don't look for your friends. Don't make friends. Don't start chatting on chat rooms. That's a complete waste of time. That's a complete waste of time. If you, I think it's the word comments. If you spell it out in Hebrew letters, is a same numerical value, same gematria as lashon hara. You know, so somebody showed me some drawing that showed it. The point is that all the comments, all of the message boards, all of these groups or whatever, it's all a complete waste of time. People going to battles and debates on the internet for no reason whatsoever, because no one wins in the end. No one wins. It's a complete waste of time. If you're going to use the internet, you're going to use social media in general, it's either to publicize Torah, which Hashem wants, or to learn Torah. You're watching a shiur right now live. Other than that, you have no business on social media. No, there's nothing for you to do there. Oh no, but I have friends there. Get friends in real life.
Exactly.
You don't like friends in real life, get a dog then. I don't know what to tell you. Reality is, your friends should not be on the internet. Get real friends. Get real friends. Why? You need to socialize with real people once in a while. You know, it's very important for people to know that the people on the internet are not your friends. They're just little boxes with a name next to them. You have to understand, you want friends, go meet friends in real life. The internet is there to learn, to make business, and to teach in order to publicize Torah. That's it. There's really not much else that you could do. Everything else is going to lead you to trouble. Everything else is going to lead you to trouble. So a person needs to be very careful. Even if a person is teaching Torah, before they teach on the internet, they should have somebody that they know, that knows what they know, to tell them whether they're ready to do it. Many times people go on the internet to teach Torah, and in reality they teach heresy. They teach things that are against the Torah. So a person needs to also have somebody that's his rabbi, that's double checking who he is and what he's saying, if he's sticking to the book, if he's not sticking to the book. Unfortunately today, everybody can go on the internet and say whatever they want, and there's no police force for the internet. Anyone can say whatever they want. So that means that if you're going to be the viewer, you have to be, in essence, your own police force. You have to double check everything that everybody's saying. Don't just consume everything that's said on the internet and assume it's real. Double check what people are saying. Also, you know, use books. Books, Baruch Hashem, they still exist. I know people don't like to use them and they're heavy, but double check with books. It's very important for people to treat the internet as a utility, as a tool. Because to say that you shouldn't use the internet is ridiculous. It's just completely ridiculous. I know that some big rabbis said, oh, the internet destroyed a generation. That's because they have no concept of what the internet does for them too. Many of these rabbis, the world wouldn't even know they existed if it wasn't for the internet. You know, internet is a tool. Electricity is a tool. Cars are a tool. Refrigeration is a tool. Gas is a tool. These are all tools that HaKadosh Baruch Hu allows us to have in order to function in the world. And we need to function in an appropriate way. It's up to us to monitor ourselves and say what's good and what's bad. How do we know what's good and what's bad? You learn from a shiur Torah. Shiur Torah is going to tell you, if it's a good quality shiur Torah, it's going to tell you what's bad and what's good. And then you compare it to your life, and you say, where am I good and where am I bad? And you do some self-accounting and fix whatever you have to fix. But to simply assume that a person should not go to a certain place is simply a mistake, because again, your Yetzirah is not the same as his Yetzirah. His Yetzirah is not the same as her Yetzirah. So you can't just issue a blanket statement and say, anyone that has a smartphone is going to Gehinnom. That's completely ridiculous. And the best part is that people say it in big rabbis' names. Why? Because those big rabbis, they don't check Facebook. They don't check what people say in their names. They're not there to defend themselves. 99% of the stuff that you see that has big rabbis' names in it is fake. How do you know it's real? If it's in a book, not if it's on the internet. If it's written in a book, then it's real. If the rabbi wrote it in his book, then it's real. But even sometimes you'll find something in a book and it's wrong. Meaning, somebody else wrote it in his book in the name of the rabbi, but it's wrong. Why? Because you double check the rabbi's book himself, and he actually wrote the opposite. I found one mistake, for example, somebody wrote in the name of Rav Ovadia about the issue of whether you're allowed to, in France, they didn't have any Eruv over there at some point, whether they're allowed to have a key inside the belt. One said yes, another book said no. The point being is, two different books had two different opinions. The one that's the name of Rav Ovadia was the correct one. The one that was about Rav Ovadia was incorrect. Meaning, you don't learn halacha from bios. You don't learn halacha from bios. You learn halacha from the halacha books. The point being, Rabotai, is that you have to double check everything because the onus is on you to know the truth. Hashem wants you to toil for Torah. Don't complain about, oh, how could I know there's so many bad people there and there's so many mistakes there and there's so much confusion there. That's on purpose. Hashem wants it to be a confused world. Hashem wants it to be difficult. That's on purpose. He's intentionally making it confused. Why? To make you toil. To make you fight for the emet. Why does he want you to fight for the emet? If I spoon feed you all of the emet, little by little, one bite at a time, like a little baby, and guess what? It's never going to be your truth. It'll be truth you were fed. The second somebody else gives you a different truth, you'll fall like nothing. But if you toiled for it, if you fought for that truth, you checked one book and another book, and you called one Rav and another Rav, and eventually you got, okay, this is it. This is the truth. Now it's your truth. Now it's engraved in your neshama, and that's it. No one can move you. That's toiling. That's the difference between being spoon-fed the truth and toiling for the truth. Hashem is intentionally making this a confused world. One of the reasons, he has infinite reasons, but one of them is in order for us to make the truth our own, by toiling for it. Another reason is also to give us a little bit more time to do tshuva, because the Satan can't say they know for sure and they're still going against you, Hashem. That's another reason.